ton to play. But we're just going to add another one right now. This is a song I heard in a dream a couple of years ago. It's a gift to all of you. I love you. I bless you. Thank you for being in the world. I love you. I bless you. Thank you for being in the world.
And behind those masks, you can sing.
I love you. I bless you. Thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world.
Now that our hearts are all warmed up.
So it's 10:30. This is the official start of church, and I know Reverend Steve wanted to hear some harmonica. So, and some of you just want to know you're at a church somewhere. So here we go. Here's an old church favorite. A lot of you know, minus the harmonica. Amazing grace.
a modern musician friend of ours. We'd like to do a song with Jamie. Walk a mile or a minute in another man's shoes. He's got a path to take to find his truth. Any way you spin it, he's a lot like you. Finding his faith on roads that you never choose. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Don't let it cloud your vision. Love be your only mission always. Let go be your condition. Let love be your only mission always. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Tell a tale you're in it. Hear a brother man's blues. Got a destination now and no excuse. Why do you condemn it when it's not your own? You can't unsee it once the light has shone. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Don't let it cloud your vision. Let go be your only mission always. Let go be your condition. Let love be your only mission always. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. One foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another, one with your sister and brother always. One foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another, one with your sister and brother always. Don't let it cloud your vision. Love be your only mission always. Let go be your condition. Let love be your only mission always. Don't let it cloud your vision. Love be your only mission always. Let go be your condition. Let love be your only mission always. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Keep on walking.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. It's so good to see all your smiling faces this morning. Welcome, and let's hear it for Anton and Laura. It's always such a great treat to have guest musicians, although we have wonderful musicians among us, don't we? We're so blessed with talent here. Well, Anton and Laura have some CDs for sale, so if you'd like afterwards to go and take them home with you, I'm sure they would love that. And let's get into why we're here, which is we are the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. And again, I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter, and we are going to read our vision mission statement. Do you like our new AV look here? Chris, could you go ahead and put the slide up for us for welcome? Thank you. There we go. Already technical. You know, whenever you get more technical, there's this thing called technical difficulties that we get to deal with. So, and these TVs were donated by Pat and Diane Salter. And also donated Pat coming and installing them. But we are looking at doing some fundraisers to get bigger TVs eventually so that the people in the back can actually see what's on them. But this is a step up from the old LCD projection screen. And we have one on each side. Wow, we're really moving on up. So let's repeat our vision mission statement, which says, we are an open, light, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness through teaching spiritual principles. We are so glad that you made this your destination this morning. And I see you out in Zoom land there. I want to connect with you and let you know that we're so grateful that you have found yourself here. I know you have a lot of places to go, but this is the place to be, right? Because you're here. Well, I have some announcements this morning. Tax information is being mailed out as we speak. So if you gave over $100 to us, look in your mailbox because there may be a little receipt for you for your taxes. If you have any questions about that, you can speak to Paula Peterson, our board president, or Cindy Grondel, our office administrator. We have a new board member. Yay! Right here, Jamaica Wallace. And say hello to her, welcome her to the board. It's wonderful to have some new energy here. Please thank her and the other board members for being such dedicated volunteers and working diligently on your behalf. They represent you, the congregation, as we make decisions about what we're doing with our Center for Spiritual Living. These board members currently are Paula Peterson, Nancy Yonley, Guy Young, Jamaica Wallace, and myself, Reverend Steve Van Meter. And we also like to thank and recognize Kim Bibu for her extended appointment and for her service on the board. Yeah. So, yes. Save the date, February 25th and March 25th is a fundraiser. We are going to have game night from 6:30 to 8:30. It's a $10 buy-in, if you will, and come and play games. We'll have board games and card games, and we'll also, if you look over here after service, there's a box that's been started for if you win some of the games, you get to select what prizes that you would like. So go peruse that. And if there's a game that you want to play, let us know and let the committee know. Chris Strong is heading that up, but and there's several people that, and if you want to be part of this, please come and join us in game. So we're starting to have more fundraisers here as we move towards spring. Yeah, spring is in the air, right? Well, again, thank you all for being here. And at this time, please stand as Anton and Laura lead us as we sing, "We Are One."
We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity we shall live in harmony, and peace has come as we are one. We are one. Peace has come.
Please join me in our gratitude.
My gratitude runs deep for the spiritual principles I vow to live, and so it is.
Well, good morning. Welcome to all. My name is Bucky Dennerline, and I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living, and I could not be happier than to welcome everybody. So many people sitting here in this room, and so many. Oh, it just makes my heart so happy. Today, I know that each of us is come here for, that today we receive what is needed to take us to the next level. Whether it's clearing out old beliefs that no longer serve us or new inspiration, everyone is welcome on your spiritual path here. So this is the perfect time and the perfect place where we can co-create, where we do co-create our collective and individual good. Joining us today is our table practitioner, Paula Peterson. She is holding the high watch during our service and during this time that we are together in this space and in the bigger space out in Zoom world. She is knowing the good for each one of us. And she is available after the service to connect you to a practitioner. You know, a big part of what we do here is what? Pray. You got it. Oh man, I tell you. So we love to pray with you. And if any of our practitioners are available after the service for individual short prayer, please raise your hand right now. We have Paula, we have Deborah, and we have Tracia over here and myself. So let's pray it up. All right. And you know, you can also write this down. We have these little forms in the back of the seats where there's little slips of paper there. The blue one is for after you receive the demonstration or the heart's desire. We want to hear about that too. So write down your request on the yellow ones and your demonstrations, your outcomes, your ultimate amazing good that's coming to you. Miracles. We'd love to hear about it. Share them with us. So we will pray for your prayer request, whether you sit with us in prayer today, in person, verbally sitting, looking at each other in the same space, or out through a Zoom request or a piece of paper put in the offering basket, or taken back to the table where Paul is sitting in a little box with a little latch on it. Those are prayer requests. So it is our honor to pray with you. So please reach out somehow, some way, whatever you're comfortable with in prayer. We have some lovely flowers here. I don't know who brought them. All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it so much. Expressions of God. And is there anyone here who's here for the first time? Because we love to give out gifts and really welcome. Second time. Did you get your gift last time?
Oh, I don't know. But
Well, then Reverend Stephen, maybe we need to pass it around here again. Yeah. This will help you get to know us a little bit better. And thank you so much. We welcome you. And we know that this is your place to be. Thank you. Don't forget about turning your cell phones off, please. And now we can read the prayer together. Today's prayer. My life is a continual demonstration of my beliefs. I actively apply and practice all the amazing teachings I have been introduced to at the Centers for Spiritual Living. Each year that passes,
I reap rich rewards for my spiritual practice, and so it is.
And so it is. So let's sit together and sing, I am loved. Hard not to clap, isn't it? It just brings us such great joy. Thank you so much. It brings great joy to me to welcome you to our spiritual center. This is a place where we learn and practice how perfect we are, so that even when we don't see the perfection or feel it, we get to remember coming here and practice being the divinely loved beings that we truly are. I'm also here to prepare you for the talk by our minister, Reverend Stephen Van Meter, because today, as a student of science of the mind, I know you might be familiar, and as I am, with the topic of his talk. And I'm glad to tell you to get ready to take in universal truths that inform us that this is the day to take in this universal truths that inform us that this is the day. This is the time. This is when we get to live what we believe. I love Claire Cower's line on page 27 of her book, See No Stranger. You may hear this from Reverend Stephen later, but I'm going to say it now. We become what we practice. Whoa, what are we practicing? Huh? Yeah. So as we get ready to experience what we practice, I invite you to contemplate the words of Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind text, the philosophy upon which the Centers for Spiritual Living is founded. Science asks that we prove principles. And this passage from textbook page 477-2, in the chapter titled, From the Teachings of Jesus, the Three Planes of Life. It's a great testament to science and our part in living out the holy and the highest good. So I invite you to contemplate these words. Then we will go into the silence for a few minutes after I speak, so that we may receive all that Spirit has for each of us to know. So join me in taking a long, slow, deep breath and letting it out, releasing all that came before being in the present. Man is a threefold principle of life and action. He is spirit, soul, and body. From the spirit, he receives inspiration and guidance. In the soul, he finds a perfect law of life. And through the body, he proves that he is a real individualization of the indivisible principle. Man's mind should swing from inspiration into action, from contemplation to accomplishment, from prayer to performance. My very favorite phrase, prayer to performance. This would be a well-balanced existence. The spirit fires the soul with energy and understanding. The soul, which is the subjective mentality, visualizes the body and animates all that we do. No greater mistake could be made than to think that we must separate life from what it does. We must unify and not divide. The spirit must go forth into creation through law and action. Life must enter living, and God must flow through man if there is to be a real representation of the divine through the human. Let us feel that our purposes are animated and inspired from on high. And then let us go forth and make our dream come true in human experience. With an invisible intelligence to guide and an immutable law to direct. Let us take our place in any legitimate activity and thus cause our dreams to come to full fruition. And as we come back into the room, I know this time is blessed. And so it is. So we'll have some special music and Reverend Steve's talk.
This is a song I wrote about that place where our inner lives and our outer lives meet. So where the rubber starts to meet the road. Deep inside, a voice so clear, yet so far away. A dream that calls out to the heart of another way. When the knowing grows so strong, a river to the sea, every purpose of my life pouring into me. How can I live keys to freedom, showing me the way. The sweetness of my life, returning back to the bounty of this world. All I ask is the power of my joy, the essence of my truth, the expression of my heart. I open it to In the quiet of my mind lies the jewel of wisdom. The perfection of my heart holds the purest vision. In the stillness of my soul are the keys to freedom. Open me the way. How can I live deep inside this dream like you? How can I give of my life, myself? How can I know on this journey there's no turning back? And how can I grow from the courage of my heart? Ooh, how can I live? Oh, how can I live? Oh, how can I live? Oh, I can live.
Thank you, Anton and Laura. Wow, let's hear it again for that. Put this over here. Well, welcome to the last Sunday. Go ahead and take me down a little bit. I'm a little hot. Last Sunday in January, right? The 30th. Wow, 5th Sunday. And the title for January was Living Everyday Wonder, you know, the wonder of a child. Just remembering what it's like to rediscover yourself in this world of form. And today's talk title is Prove It. Prove it. Prove it to me. Show me the money. How does one get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. Actually, you go down Broadway, you make a left. So, how do we demonstrate this principle that we know works, which is positive thinking? It's one thing to think positively, but it's another to live positively. You know, if my lawn needs to be mowed, I can go out and buy the best riding lawnmower in the world. But if I don't get on it and turn it on and actually mow my lawn, it's just something taking up room in my garage. These are tools. This science of mind is a tool to live by. And we need to practice it. If we don't practice it, what happens? Just like if you don't practice doing push-ups, you go to do one, somebody says, drop and give me 10, and you just drop. Because we atrophy. Things we don't use tend to collect dust, don't they? My house is reminds me all the time of the things that I don't use, right? It's like, wow, that bass guitar's got a lot of dust on it. It's time to dust that thing off. So how does one live spirituality? By practicing and proving a theory. You know, this is the science of mind, not the science of dreaming. This is a science. What makes it a science? It's a proven theory. It's not just an idea that Dr. Ernest Holmes had and wrote a book back in 1926 and we never revisited it. We are keeping this thing alive by practicing these ideas. We become what we practice. What are you practicing? Are you part of your solution or are you part of your challenge? Well, you are both. If you look in all of your successes and all of your failures, what's been the common denominator? My ex-wife. No. See, you can't blame anybody else. It's all you. It's like, let me get back to you on that. Let me rethink this a little bit. Well, that reminds me of the story, which features two characters, the grandfather and his grandson. The grandfather explains to his grandson that there are two wolves fighting within him, which is an image that serves as a metaphor for a person's inner sense of conflict. The conversation between the two goes something like this. I have a fight going on within me, the old man says. It's taking place between two wolves. One is evil and challenge. He is anger and envy and sorrow and regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other embodies positive emotions. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. Both wolves are fighting to the death. The same fight is going on inside each of us. And the grandson took a moment to reflect on this. And he looked at the grandson looked at the grandfather and asked, which wolf will win? And the grandson took a moment to reflect on this, and he looked up at his grandfather. And the old Cherokee gave the simple reply, the one you feed will win. So what are you feeding in your life? Are you quietly nurturing your challenges, spoon feeding them to keep them alive in your life? And this is what we do. We don't even know we're doing it, but it's what we do. But once we realize we do it, we can cut that off. We can stop nurturing our inner challenges. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not like you say, I'm going to quit smoking, and you just wake up one morning and go, I quit smoking today. Some people can. It can happen like that, but usually there's a process to it. You gradually, get yourself in the mindset of choosing to be a non-smoker. There's just, some of us have gone through that, or a non-whatever it is that you think is standing in your way. So again, our organization is called Centers for Spiritual Living, not Centers for Spiritual Dreaming. But dreaming is a good start. It's our dreams that got us here. And if you don't have a dream, you better rent one. You better borrow one from somebody till you can get your own, because it's the dreams that keep us alive. Living requires active participation, application, and practice. Life is an experiential experience that must be experienced to be lived. Here at the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living, we practice religious science, and we teach what is called the science of the mind. This teaching is a provable theory. It's only gotten this far because people who believed in this idea took it into their lives, followed the 5-step treatment prayer or something like it, and demonstrated a healing, a revealing of the truth, because they practiced this science. This isn't some, like, pink sky metaphysics that one day my good will come to me. No, your good is right here, right now. And all we need to do is come into alignment with what we teach and what we believe, and watch out, because you're about to prove this in your life in a powerful way. Ernest Holmes wrote on page 51 of Our Science of Mind, one of the greatest difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. As a matter of fact, we only know as much as we can prove by actual demonstration. That which we cannot prove may or not be true, but that which we can prove certainly must be and is the truth. The truth. What's your truth? Not what your parents told you was true for you, not your neighbor's truth, not your best friend's truth. What is your truth? What do you believe? What do you choose to prove? We all came here on this little contract called life to prove something, to prove that we can live in the world of form. And we took on these identities, these temporary experiences. Yes, each one of us is a temp here. Each one of us is only temporarily here, okay? But you are forever going to be the part of you that created you. You can never not be the power of God itself. That's what wakes us up every morning. That's what's beating our heart. And that's what's breathing our bodies right now, if you like it or you know it or not. So, which brings me to my beautiful 3 talking points. And here's talking point number 1, science. Ernest Holmes titled his work The Science of Mind and named the teaching Religious Science. He didn't call it an essay on the mind or religion in rumination. No. If we accept the science of mind, religious science, as a science, then a mere intelligent knowledge of the spiritual principle is insufficient, and simply talking about and announcing spiritual principle with pithy platitudes demonstrating nothing more than one's spiritual immaturity. It is both spiritual bypass and spiritual malpractice to not prove these theories. And I would say, if you have found yourself in this room this morning or in Zoom land, and you know who you are, you know that this is provable because something brought you back. Maybe you were walking through a challenge. And I would love to say that I came to this teaching because I was so inspired that I was drawn to it. Well, I was initially. But then challenge became part of my life, and I needed to get out of hot water. I needed to figure something out in my life, and I searched, and I happened upon this teaching. My dad actually said, there's a church in your neighborhood, and I want you to go and have a practitioner session. I was like, Dad, come on, what? Well, I had a treatment with a practitioner to prove him wrong, and here I stand before him. So I tried to prove him wrong, and this is what happens when you try to prove something that isn't the truth. All of a sudden, you become part of the truth because you are it. You can be nothing else but it, the power. So, on page 51 and 52 of The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes writes this: it's easy enough to rush about shouting that there are no sick people,
But this will never heal those who appear to be sick. It is easy to proclaim that there are no needs. Anyone can say this, whether he is wise or unwise. If we are to prove such statements to be facts, in our experience, we shall be compelled to do more than announce a principle, no matter how true it may be. We have to actually get on the mower, start it up, and mow our lawn. We have to actually have a desire of something we want to be, do, and have. And then prayer. Take the 5 steps of treatment and use them. What are the 5 steps? Identify that there is a power. There is something that is breathing your body and beating your heart. I think we can all agree that there is something going on. Did you make the sunrise this morning? Did you make the sunset last night? No, but you enjoyed it. You were part of it. So there is a power. Number 2, unity, unification. We are part of this power. This power and us are one and the same. There's truly only one of us here as the billions of countless expressions of the one. So we are unified. Then you choose to be, do, or have something. That's the 3rd step. What do you want to heal or reveal or be? And act as though it's already so. You know, we don't hope. Hope is a good entry-level idea towards demonstrating. But you have to know. You have to believe with all your being that it's true for you. And now that you believe it, what do you want to do? You want to give thanks. That's the 4th step. Giving thanks that it's already done. How good it is to know that you're healed, that you are successful, that you are powerful. You of your own little self are just you. But when you team up as the power within you, there is nothing you cannot do, which brings us to step 5, release and let go. We must let go. You can't, it's like taking a broken toy to your parent and going, fix this. And I want to hold it while you fix it. No, you have to let it go. When you bring your car to the shop, they don't let you sit in the car while they fix it. They don't even want you in the area. They have laws about it. They have rules. You can't stand under your car while they're fixing it. Go have coffee and come back, and it will be fixed. But we have to let go of it, don't we? So it can be fixed or repaired or whatever the new idea is that's happening to it. We must let go. Which brings me to step 2, hypothesis. Change your thinking, change your life. It's a saying in our philosophy. It is a basic assumption of our science that informs our concept of the creative process and our methodology. But when was the last time you looked at this saying with the objective eyes and the inquisitive curiosity of the scientific method? When was the last time you really went, you know what? To change my life, I need to change my thinking. Not only change my thinking, but change my doing. I must change what I think about. Because if a person is what they think about all day long, and you're thinking about your challenge by worrying, you are demonstrating the principle perfectly, because you're getting more of what you don't want. You're getting more worry and more challenge. What does it look like healed? Better than look like healed. What does it feel like now that you are perfect, whole, and complete? Now, this isn't to deny the process of that or any challenge you may have walked through, but it's not to give it any more power. We don't want to give the power to what we don't believe in. We want to give it to what we do believe. You know, last week we explored the value of asking questions. This month, we've been looking at wonder in our daily lives. It's good to have wonder, to wonder, why is the grass green? Why is the sky blue? Why is that flower so beautiful? You know why? Because you're beautiful and you recognize the beauty of yourself within the flower. That's truly how it works. If you didn't possess that beauty, you wouldn't love it so much. It would just be another wallflower. What questions can you think of that would open you for greater inquiry into the exploration of this idea? Change your thinking, change your life. We have already seen that simply starting spiritual principles don't change our experience. We need to take them all the way through. We need to really put ourselves into the picture. You know, if you're doing a vision board, you know, like a treasure map for yourself, put a picture of yourself on it. See yourself doing it. That's where the power lies. Perhaps it means changing something. Ah, yes, you've got to make changes. You know, we're such an interesting creature. I want things to be different, but don't change anything in my life. I don't like change, but I want everything to be different, but don't change anything because I'm kind of set in my ways. You've got to be okay with being uncomfortable. Can you be okay with being uncomfortable? Can you get comfortable in your uncomfortableness? You know, it is done unto us as we believe. That's the big word, as. How do you believe? Do you believe that you were created for greatness? Because you were. Each one of us holds the puzzle piece that only we can, provide. And if we don't, the puzzle goes without our piece. The energy that created us doesn't create any extra parts, any extra pieces. They're all instrumental, but we all have to do our part. You know, we are only as spiritual as we act the part to be. Are we always acting the part? Just ask yourself that next time somebody cuts you off. How spiritual can I be right now? Can you do this? This is the most spiritual thing you can do, driver. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go on in front of me. No, we hit the gas. Because, why? Because that spirit of competition that is so alive in us wants to outdo and be better than the best. But there's no being better than who you are. You are the best you anyone could ever be. So in Edwin Gaines' book, The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, A Simple Guide to Ultimate Abundance, Gaines shares her story of her experiments with the practice of tithing and how to tithe her last dollar, which opened the floodgates of prosperity into her life. She so didn't want to tithe, but she finally gave into it and tithed, and something happened. The story is inspirational, but hearing about it or reading about it won't change our life. You can never fully understand the power of this or any spiritual practice unless you experiment with it, unless you try it. Try it for yourself. No one can prove things to you. You know, are you a skeptic? Are you a skeptic? I know, I see a couple of skeptics in the back there. I know a couple of them. But you know, skepticism is good. I want to know why. Why does it work this way? But can we be okay in the question? Can we live in the mystery of not knowing? Well, we can try. But we want to figure it out. I want to know how it works. I want to know. Are you okay not knowing? For a little while. Because, you know, at some point, all will be revealed. So in conclusion, 12-step groups transform lives because people work in steps. They take responsibility for lives, and then they practice that responsibility. The same can be said for Science of Mind. It transforms our lives when we take responsibility for our spiritual growth and practice it, but we have to practice it. Over the course of the next 11 months, we'll have many opportunities to practice in different areas of the laboratory of our lives, with a variety of practical tools that can prove spirituality in your life. But you must practice. You know, it's good to come here on Sundays and have this experience, but during the week is when the rubber meets the road. You know, when you get a call from a family member that says, hey, there's a situation, and do you go to worry or do you go to faith? And this isn't to call anybody out. This is just to see where you go in mind. And I'll be honest, when I get a call like that, I automatically go into worry and fear, but it's not long before that is overridden by my knowledge that there is a power that can heal. And the sooner I can get my mind in that place, the sooner the calmness and peaceness comes into my soul. Because I know that I know that I know that there is a power that is proving this stuff. So you know what? Prove it. Go ahead. Prove this. Prove me wrong. I dare you. It's like I tried to prove my dad wrong, and here I stand, right? Life is an experiential experience, and we must experience it. We can't sit on the bench. We have to get in the game. You have to pick up the guitar and play it. You have to get on the mower and mow your own lawn. Now, we can pay somebody to do it, and that's okay too. But you got to get it done. Somehow it's got to get done. Our greatest experiment is to discover how to approach life with awe. When was the last time you sat back and went, that is so cool? I don't even know how it works, but it's cool that it works that way. That's what your life is. And so it is. It's time for our prayer time now. So go ahead and bring the lights down just a little for me, Angela. Let's just remember who we are. So I invite you to bring to the forefront of your consciousness what you choose to believe the power that created you is. There is an energy that is happening within each one of us right here and right now. It is the healing, revealing power of the universe surging through us, as us, and it is us. We are unified in that field of all opportunity. There is a field between right and wrong, good and bad, dark and light, and I will meet you in that field, and we will dance, and we will sing, and love is the harmony of the universe itself. As that healing essence washes over us, a new idea of awe and inspiration is being born within us. There is a solution. There is an answer. There is a healing that is happening right now. I know that within our bodies, there are cells that are moving to all the right places for that perfect healing in our bodies. And in the bodies of our affairs, all of the things that need to happen for a perfect healing are happening right now. So we are grateful. How good it is to know that because we are part of our own healing. So we give great thanks for that healing. How good it is to know, how grateful we are that the healing has already occurred. And we let go. We release this word directly into the living, loving law of mind, where it is already done. As we affirm this together by saying, so it is. Amen. Okay, it's time for our offertory now. So if you'd like to put your gift on your heart, let's affirm this together, shall we? I give my offering with gladness and joy. Us and the world. So it is.
Some principles of Curtis Holmes and Ernest Holmes.
There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now. There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. There's a good for me, and I ought to have it. A good for me, and I ought to have it. And we're all gonna go out and create it, right?
Thanks, Antoine and Laura. Let's say a prayer for our offertory this morning. From the love of pure spiritual energy, these tithes and gifts have been collected. They're evidence of our faith, our belief, and our ability to manifest in this world of form. They bless the giver and receiver and are poured back into this community in a way that allows this Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living to be here and to be available, to be working, allowing those people who are choosing to remember who they are to come and be loved at depth. And for this, we are all so well blessed. And so it is. All right, well, it's time for our closing song. So if you'd like to stand up, let's sing our song.
And this is a surprise to you guys. No idea. You, but the words are simple. It's a song by Donna Michaels.
So I'm gonna just sing along. We're gonna start with I, you, and then me. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You
shine, we shine, we shine, we shine.
Time for a benediction, so please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening right now.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
It's happening in my mind.
Happening in my mind.
It's happening in my body.
In my body.
It's happening in the body of my affairs. I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
And I know it.
I know it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way it is.
Just the way that it is not.
Just the way.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
And so it is. Have an awesome week, everybody. Blessings. Namaste.